Hi, it's Zach with Wingard Wearables. You're a special person because you're one of 12 people that's going to sit through this video to the end. And today's video is very special. We're going to go into a product overview of the Backripper Tomahawk. We're doing this video because there aren't that many Backrippers out there, and they are handmade and American-made products. They are high value. So we want to make sure our customers are very happy with their purchase and they understand the design they're getting, how it can be used, and make sure it's right for them. If you stay tuned to the end, you'll hear why we haven't done a video on YouTube in 3 weeks and why my eyes look tired. Kind of dead eyes. I'm hoping they aren't dead eyes. We tried to get the lighting right so it like reflects, but we'll see. So let's get to the product overview. When people first see the Backripper Tomahawk, it is a very distinctive design, and they want to know why it is designed that way. Why does your Tomahawk look like that? This was our first Tomahawk design. We went through many design iterations to get there. It took us a while, but this Backripper Tomahawk is designed inspired by battle-proven spike tomahawks that were used in the eastern woodlands. You're talking a period in the 1600s through early 1800s. There were many different styles of spike tomahawks, but one of the unique styles was a downward curved hook. And we believe that had specific practical and tactical applications. Also, the historic tomahawks were very lightweight. So we wanted that capability, the design capability of those historic battle-proven weapons, but adapted to the modern age. So some of the features of the Backripper Tomahawk, these are made out of hickory handles. Right now the hickory is sourced from Pennsylvania. The wedges, these are wedged. They're not a friction fit drop to the top. The wedges are also hickory from the same tree used for the handles. You don't get any mismatch between the wedges and the handle section like you see with metal wedges. You never want a metal wedge on a Tomahawk because metal will shrink at colder temperatures, wood will swell at more humid air environment, and you'll quickly get a mismatch in the wedge and the wood, resulting in a loose head. When it's a hickory wedge on a hickory handle, that's going to be your best bet for an assured strong fit. The handles are also foul branded for texture, and the handles themselves come in two different sizes. So in my hand right here is a full 16-inch long handle, and this hand right here is a 13-inch long handle. If you look at the bottoms of them, this handle is flat bottomed, which can be handy in some aspects, and then this handle is contoured. The short handle is contoured and angled to slide through MOLLE PALS loops. So if you're wearing a plate carrier, like you're in armed forces, or if you have hiking gear that uses MOLLE PALS loops, you can easily slide this handle because it's thinned down and contoured to fit through those loops and hold the Tomahawk in place. Both these Tomahawks and both links will comfortably fit inside your waistband on your strong side. That's why the spikes are contoured. So the spikes come in for two different curvatures. One is curved for right side carry. The other is curved for left side carry. So we do sell these in right side and left side carry models. The handles are straight grained hickory, so there's no grain run out, very strong. The heads are W1 tool steel, and they are hand forged. Now there are other manufacturers out there that market their axes and hatchets as hand forged. The way they're commonly doing it is you have a series of hammer forged dies, and they have the blacksmith manually manipulate the axe head through that process, and it's progressively formed into a fairly consistent shape of axe. This is not the process we use with our Backripper Tomahawks. These are hand forged, freehand, using a power hammer. There are no dies, and so each Backripper Tomahawk head is individually unique in its dimensions. The chopping edge can vary between Backripper heads. The length that projects from the handles can vary. And then the hook gap, so from spike tip to handle, can vary. And because these are individually hand forged and individually unique, and every file branded handle is, I do about 75 file brandings on these by hand, they're all unique. So we photograph them, we number them, we list them on the website with the dimensions spec'd out, their weight, that sort of thing. So you can go through and pick the one individual backripper that's right for you. They are individually unique. Now that was the design intent, and that's how they were made. So let's go into how they're used. You can grip the backripper like this and use it choked up for utility knife type cuts. You can also put a second support hand on this to exert more pressure. I have used that to cut through fairly thick material, think half-inch thick masonite board. It cut better than a utility knife because I could exert more pressure on that. And you've got this, chopping blade can be used for chopping. Cutting wood that's fairly thin. This is not a heavy hatchet or a forest axe. It weighs under 8 ounces, so you're not going to be an efficient wood chopper. You're definitely not splitting wood with this, but in bushcraft, you can chop thin pieces of wood and split off sections from bigger pieces of wood to help start a fire. Now, the curved spike is sharpened on the inside edge to a knife-like edge. In bushcraft, that can be used to hook into fallen dead wood, and you use your leg muscles to drag that into your campfire. So you do not use the Backripper Tomahawk like a conventional forest axe or hatchet, but it is still useful in bushcraft utility. You just have to be clever about how you use such a lightweight axe. The curved Backripper blade is also been used, like we've had customers tell us they've used them like an extended reach hook hand. Like we've had customers that are handicapped in a wheelchair and have been able to use the Backripper to reach things and pull things. We've had folks garden with this, use this like a gardening sickle. I have used that to clear paths through weeds or even to cut through big patches of ornamental grass. And this is a blade shape that gathers what it cuts, and so I've been able to cut through a fair amount of foliage very quickly, surprisingly quickly, using this. So these definitely have practical utility applications. They're capable of knife-like utility cuts. But this is also a tomahawk. It's designed as a weapon, and that is where the lightness really comes into play. This is lightning fast for very fast chops and maneuvers. When you're chopping with the Backripper Tomahawk, whether it's for utility or in combatives, you do not do an exaggerated over-the-shoulder chop. That is not necessary. That also adds a risk of danger that you could accidentally hook yourself. This is so lightweight, under 8 ounces, that the chop is like throwing a punch, like throwing a cross or even a jab. It really works on speed. And so this chopping edge is concentrated and angled. It's actually angled to be comfortable to carry when you bend deeply at the waistline, but that forward angle does assist in penetrating in the chop, and the narrowness of that chopping blade also works really well on flesh and bone materials. Customers have used these for hunting hatchets to break down deer, but most of our customers are buying these as a weapon and are carrying them either as backup weapons to handguns, or when they can't carry a handgun at all, they want the most potent edge weapon they can get as a backup weapon, and a tomahawk definitely fits the bill. So when you're chopping, it is like throwing a punch. It's not an exaggerated over-the-shoulder motion. It's very fast, and you can quickly maneuver to spike side to tear down an opponent. Or if the opponent is inside your arc, you can reach around and hook. And the spike is used like a meat hook on a stick. you're hooking into the flesh or hooking into the skeletal structure to tear the opponent down. It is not used in percussive impact. It cannot be used in percussive impact. It is definitely used to tear down, hook into, that sort of thing. So it's a very versatile weapon. You have very rapid transitions. And when you're trying to decide what length you want, the full length has better grip retention geometry because it flares out at the bottom. So when you're dragging something like an opponent or a log, you have a tapered flare out that's really good. Our MOLLE compatible Backripper Tomahawks don't have that because they have to slide through MOLLE PALS loops. We do a little bit extra deep foul branding, so there's better texture on that. And you do have to grip a little bit harder, but it's very firm and secure. We also added a little lanyard hole on the MOLLE compatible Backripper Tomahawk, so you can add a small lanyard if you want. The carry systems, they consist of kydex, axe cover on one side, spike cover on the other. There's shock cord connecting them with these strong plastic clamps, these alligator clips. Any elastic will wear out with time. The shock cord we use is an 1/8 inch diameter, easily procured from anywhere. You cut a 15-inch long piece, hit both ends with a Bic lighter or a match to make them molten, and you can easily tie a replacement. They tend to last a while. In fact, some of the carry systems, this was a carry system I've used for 2 years. I have not had an issue with the shock cord on that. Now, speaking of wear and tear, we wanted to show you guys a new Backripper compared to Backripper number 10. So this is the 10th Backripper we ever made. I've been carrying this inside my pants since 2018, fall of 2018. And you can see how the handle stain and the patina can wear. Now, I've abused this a lot. I've carried it every day except when I'm swimming at the beach. That's when I carry the Empress. I've carried this every day for going on close to 3 years. And you can see the stain does wear hot spots where it's rubbing against clothing or against your body. It does fade a little. But I just wanted to show you guys that so you can know, okay, this is how brilliant it looks when it's new. This is how it looks and wears with character when you're wearing it inside your pants for a long time. Trying to think of anything else I am missing. Oh, the trainers. So my wife is in the background. She's pointing. Now, trainers are a really big deal if you're serious about your martial arts combatives training. Volpe's Training reached out to us and said, we can make a Backripper Tomahawk trainer for you. Our Backripper Tomahawk trainers we were making at the time were a mild steel hand-forged head that was blunt. It was edgeless, but it was hung just like our live Backripper blades. And we made just 10 of those. They were extremely time-intensive. They were very expensive. They were north of $120 each. And they were very dangerous. You could not spar with a training partner with these. It would be like getting hit with a flanged mace. It would very dangerous to train with. So Volpe's said, hey, we can make these out of HDPE, one piece. They are, I think these are 3/4 inch wide, so the same width as the Backripper Tomahawk handles. You can see the edge greatly distributes the impact surface. The hook on this side is not canted, but it's so wide that it covers the degree of cant whether you have a left or right-handed spike. So for training purposes, it's great. And what's really amazing is even though there's no metal in this, it weighs within an ounce of the live Backripper Tomahawk blades. That is incredible. If you've ever tried messing around with Tomahawk trainers, they are feather light compared to their live blades. That's because everyone else on the market is making heavier, much heavier Tomahawks that cannot be made to weigh the same. It requires metal to get to that kind of weight. When you have a tomahawk that weighs 20 to 30 ounces, you're eventually going to have to tack a lot of metal on it if you want the trainer to weigh the same. By then, it's really heavy and dangerous to spar with just from momentum. We still recommend that when you train with us that you wear protective equipment. And it is much safer, for both. It doesn't matter if you're doing training like a solo, say against a body opponent bag, or with a training partner. So very useful. And these have been dimpled, like HDPE can be a little slippery. If you got calloused hands, it kind of feels like gripping soap. So Volpe's put these dimples on there, which aid in grip retention. So that's been really good. And so those are also available in full length and MOLLE size. So you have the MOLLE size there. So that's really amazing that he did such a good weight match. And he does these by hand too. He bandsaws these out and then hits them up with a belt sander and a drill. So I'm trying to think of anything else to tell you. Yeah, they're American made. They're awesome. You guys hung around to the end. You want to know why we haven't done YouTube videos the past 3 weeks? I don't think my in-laws watch this. She doesn't know. Yeah, we had to host the in-laws. They drove cross-country. They were here for, 8 days? They're lovely people, but if you have people at your house for that long, it's definitely, our house is small. Like, you should see the kitchen behind you. It's like chaos. We have these big lights and stuff in here. It'd be a disaster to try to do these videos with my father-in-law and mother-in-law here. I wouldn't be in the right state of mind anyway. Kind of, when you have guests at the house, sanity breaks on day 3. So I knew it would be a really bad video if we tried to do a video. And then shortly after that, it was 4th of July weekend. This is how my 4th of July weekend started, with an explosion in the morning. Not firework explosion. A utility pole came crashing down, and we had a power surge, and it fried many appliances in the house. How many appliances? Several. Like the fridge was fried. The washing machine was fried. We have a Cat Genie AI. If you aren't familiar with the Cat Genie, instead of a litter box where the cats do the business, and then you, like, as the subservient human, scoop it out and stuff. It's a robot that does the scoopage. Okay, imagine an HP printer and a plumbing system in one, and imagine when there are problems, the problems you have with a printer and the problems you have with plumbing combined. This thing can be so yeah, you don't have to scoop the litter, like it scoops it and flushes it and everything itself. But when it goes wrong, you got to glove up and you're wrist deep in poo water. It's terrible. Well, the power surge fried the Cat Genie. Oh man, we still had running water, thankfully. We still had septic, but there was no septic anymore for the kitties. So we were back to like cavemen, with a litter box. It's terrible. So yeah, that's an expensive thing. It was an expensive day too. I got pulled over by a trooper, 3 violations. It wasn't even speeding violations. It was like I forgot some paperwork. So, expensive day, right before 4th of July when no one was around to fix anything. So yeah, it's taken a few weeks for me to get in the right frame of mind to even think about doing a video. But here we are. Repairs, that sort of thing. Anything else I should mention? That is it. You guys, we're getting Backrippers back on the store. We're up to making 16 a month. We were making 8 a month. We scaled up to 16. You guys keep us busy and get them. Yeah, be edgy.